On Saturday, August 9, 2025, the streets of Abidjan witnessed a powerful and peaceful national march that echoed across the Ivorian political landscape. Thousands of Ivorians, united under the banner of the Common Front, took to the streets to protest President Alassane Ouattara's controversial bid for a fourth term in the upcoming presidential election. This momentous event wasn't just a demonstration against one individual's ambition, but a broader statement about the country's democratic future. The march represented the voices of a diverse cross-section of society, from young students and activists to workers and intellectuals, all united by their desire to uphold the core values of democracy, justice, and fairness. As we dive into the details of this powerful protest, don't forget to hit the like button to support the conversation surrounding this critical issue. Your engagement is crucial in helping spread this message far and wide, so the voices of the people can be heard loud and clear. Let's now explore the motivations behind this peaceful yet powerful stand against President Ouattara's fourth-term aspirations. The peaceful march that unfolded across Abidjan was not just about opposing one individual's political ambitions. It was a statement of collective resistance from an opposition coalition that is deeply concerned about the future of their nation. The Common Front, a group that includes political parties such as the Democratic Party of Côte d'Ivoire, PDCI, and the Ivorian Popular Front, FPI, spearheaded the demonstration. This coalition represents the heart of Ivorian opposition to what they see as an unconstitutional extension of power. The protesters gathered in large numbers in the Yopougon district, waving banners and chanting slogans like "Enough is enough" and "No true democracy without true justice." They were sending a clear and unmistakable message. The Ivorian people are no longer willing to sit idly by while the country's democratic principles are undermined. At the core of the protests lies the issue of President Ouattara's decision to run for a fourth term. In 2016, the Ivorian president made a significant move by revising the constitution, removing presidential term limits. This change was seen by many as a controversial political maneuver, allowing him to stay in power for an extended period. In fact, Ouattara's move has sparked heated debate within the country, with many questioning whether the president is truly respecting the democratic process or simply extending his grip on power. For many Ivorians, Ouattara's bid for a fourth term goes against the very spirit of democracy, where leadership should be periodic, accountable, and, above all, inclusive. The 2016 constitutional amendment that removed the presidential term limit was initially framed as a step toward greater political stability. Supporters of the change argued that it allowed for continuity and the strengthening of democratic institutions. However, critics argue that it opens the door for an indefinite extension of power, making it easier for sitting presidents to stay in office for extended periods, effectively bypassing the democratic process. This shift, they argue, undermines the values of rotation and accountability that are fundamental to a healthy democracy. For many Ivorians, the issue is not just about one man's desire to remain in power, it is about the integrity of the entire political system. Proponents of President Ouattara's fourth-term bid argue that the amendment allowed for a fair and legitimate chance for Ouattara to run again, as the 2016 changes were made in accordance with the Constitution. But for the opposition, the revision of the Constitution appears to have been designed with one goal in mind: to ensure that Ouattara could continue to rule indefinitely. His move to seek another term is widely seen as a betrayal of the democratic principles that the country has worked so hard to establish after years of civil conflict. As the marchers made their way through the bustling streets of Abidjan, their chants reverberated with the collective frustration of a nation that feels it is being taken for granted. The protest wasn't just a condemnation of one man's actions. It was a collective cry for a fairer political system where power is shared and the people's will is respected. But the march was also about more than just one election. It symbolized the demand for true democracy, where political processes are transparent, inclusive, and above all, accountable. Part of the protest also focused on the exclusion of key political figures from the upcoming elections. Both former President Laurent Gbagbo and former presidential candidate Tidjane Thiam have been barred from running due to legal challenges related to dual nationality. Thiam, who renounced his French citizenship, was disqualified from the race because, at the time of his candidacy declaration, he was considered to have held dual nationality. Meanwhile, Gbagbo, a former rival of President Ouattara, was also excluded from the election. This exclusion of prominent political figures raised further concerns about the fairness of the electoral process and has only fueled the fire of opposition groups. The removal of these individuals from the political playing field has led many Ivorians to question whether the upcoming elections will truly reflect the will of the people or if they will simply serve to legitimize the president's hold on power. The exclusion of key political figures has sparked outrage, particularly among those who feel that the democratic process is being hijacked. For many, the absence of Gbagbo and Thiam from the race is more than just a political setback. It is a symbol of the ways in which political elites can use legal technicalities to manipulate the system. The sense of injustice felt by many Ivorians has only deepened as they reflect on the exclusionary nature of the political process. This has further fueled the growing opposition to President Ouattara's candidacy, adding weight to the marchers' calls for electoral reform and political inclusion. Despite these challenges, the Ivorian people remain determined to push for a fairer political system. The National March of August 9, 2025, was not just a protest against one individual, but a collective stand for the future of Côte d'Ivoire. The protesters were calling for an electoral process that is transparent, inclusive, and representative of the diverse political landscape of the country. They were demanding that all legitimate candidates, regardless of their political affiliations, be allowed to participate in the election. The peaceful march was a demonstration of the growing demand for electoral reform and political accountability. For those who took to the streets, the march was not just about opposing President Ouattara's fourth term, it was about securing a better future for the next generation of Ivorians. The youth, in particular, were vocal in their desire for change, seeing Ouattara's fourth-term bid as a barrier to the progress they hoped to see in their country. Many young Ivorians feel that the country's political system is stagnating under the weight of long-term leadership and are calling for a new generation of leaders to take charge. They want a political environment where they can have a voice, where their future isn't shaped by the same political elites who have been in power for decades. The march also reflects a deeper societal concern about the future of the country. While Côte d'Ivoire has experienced impressive economic growth in recent years, the benefits of this growth have not been equally distributed. Many Ivorians, particularly those in rural areas, continue to live in poverty, while the political elite appears to be reaping the rewards of the country's newfound prosperity. This growing disparity has led many to question whether the country is truly progressing or if the leadership is simply maintaining the status quo to preserve its power. Despite the challenges, there is a growing sense of hope among those who believe in the power of peaceful protest and democratic change. The August 9th march was a testament to the resilience and determination of the Ivorian people, who are committed to ensuring that their voices are heard. While the road ahead may be difficult, the march symbolizes the collective will of the people to stand up for their rights and demand a political system that reflects their values. As Côte d'Ivoire heads toward the 2025 presidential election, it is clear that the country stands at a crossroads. The peaceful march of August 9, 2025, serves as a reminder that the future of the nation lies in the hands of its people. Whether or not President Ouattara's bid for a fourth term succeeds, the message of the marchers is unmistakable. Côte d'Ivoire's democracy is not for sale, and the will of the people must always come first. As we look toward the future, let us remember that democracy is not just about elections. It is about ensuring that every citizen has a voice and that the political process reflects the true will of the people. The Ivorian people have shown that they are willing to fight for these values, and it is up to all of us to support them in their quest for a fairer and more just society. We call on all stakeholders, from the government to civil society, to engage in peaceful dialogue and work toward a solution that respects the democratic rights of the Ivorian people. If you believe in the importance of fair and transparent elections and the need for political inclusion, please like this video and share it with others. Let's continue to amplify the voices of those who are fighting for a better future for Côte d'Ivoire. Together, we can ensure that democracy remains at the heart of this nation's future. Thank you for watching. And let us all stand in solidarity with the Ivorian people as they continue their peaceful struggle for justice and democracy.